Nithyanandam. With all auspicious blessings and grace of my Guru, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, I welcome you to this web series on powerful Hindu feminism. During the Vedic period, during the Vedic civilization, India as a country was considered one of the richest, most prosperous, most auspicious country, not only for its wealth, but for the lifestyle, the way the people lived. It was this rich lifestyle, rich culture, rich quality of life that attracted many travelers from across the world, many visitors from across the world, and finally, many invaders from across the oceans. And over these decades, we have forgotten that we had a rich culture. We have forgotten we had one of the most thriving civilization, one of the best spiritual ecosystems in the world. Because if we had not forgotten, we would have wondered, we would have stopped, we would have paused and analyzed, what is it that during the Vedic civilization that made our country so rich, prosperous and thriving? What is it now that we are all struggling with? For me, this parallel lies in the way the feminine identity, the female gender, is struggling through its metamorphosis at this moment. Today, women struggle with their identity. Women have to fight for better pay. Women have to fight for better respect. Women have to fight. Or rather, I would not say fight. Women at every step, at every stage, seem to have to prove themselves as good as man, equal as man, or better than man. So there are so many conflicts, anger, frustration inside her. When I was a child, I remember many of my relatives and friends, family friends would tell my parents, "Oh, you have only 3 daughters. Oh God, you should have a son." Like, when you're a child, all these seem so inane and insipid and rather silly. So I never actually understood that how the society is able to so cleverly and so sadistically differentiate the genders from the childhood. It's as I grew older, I understood the impact of such words have on the psychology and the upbringing and my inner space, my self-confidence, my outer image, my inner image. All these are shattered and bruised by such attitudes. 80 to 90% of society would actually sympathize with my parents because we were just 3 sisters. They're like, "Oh, you should have a son who will take care of you. When you grow older, who will take care of you? Your daughters would get married and go away. You'll be all alone. You should have a son so he can get married. And his wife will take care of you." I'm like, this is rather silly. But of course, you're young, you don't fight out these things. But as you grow older, you start fighting and trying to establish what they say is not true. In fact, many of my friends and colleagues had gender conflict inside them. Many of my friends would say, "Oh, I wish I was born a boy or a male. Life would be so much easier. Life would be so cool. We would not have so many restrictions. I would get to do what I want to do." Somewhere we Hindus have started to feel and think and actually understand that women or the feminine gender are second-class citizens. And to make things worse, we are made to believe that this is how our scriptures tell us. We are second-class citizens as per the society today, because our sacred scriptures tell that women are second-class citizens. But that defies a lot of commonsensical applications if we see it today. Then how come in the Vedic period, or even now, we have goddesses who are revered, venerated and worshipped by men? How come during the Vedic civilization, women were quite powerful? Women had a choice in marriage. Women had a choice to live the life they want to live. Women had say in many matters. Many socio-political decisions were made by women. These things, or these facts, or these Shastra Pramanas, we will be sharing with you in these upcoming series. But why am I talking about Vedic feminism or the powerful Hindu identity, women identity today? Because it's time you and I revive that. Because it's time for a woman to become stable and chaste in every decision she makes. That is what is powerfulness all about. Not having the freedom to choose, move from one relationship to another. With this kind of a conflict that's going on, today women have become so insecure, so unsure of themselves, that they start questioning every decision they make. And once they start questioning that every decision they make, their answers, their choices, their decisions keep changing every second. Women are fickle is a myth started by a man who hates women. Women were never fickle. Especially the Hindu women were never fickle. We were the most powerful women. Power does not mean always being in politics. Powerfulness means having the ability to influence people to think the way you think, do what you want them to do. And one doesn't need to be in politics. One doesn't need to have wealth to do that. One needs to have a powerful inner space to do it. One needs to have a powerful belief about herself to be able to do it. Why today women go through so much of conflicts? Why are we so depressed? Why do we have so many issues? If you see, if we have to draw a parallel, the world in general is poised in the same way. There are so many conflicts, wars, terror activities, genocide, purging of human beings. The scale of ahimsa, violence and non-violence, is tilted more towards violence. But how does it matter to me as an individual? I have my own struggles. I have my own things to do. How am I going to stop the world being violent? How am I going to stop a war in Kosovo? Or how am I going to stop a genocide happening somewhere in Bangladesh? How can I as an individual do anything? But you as an individual can do so much when you take a decision to transform, to carry the inner space inside of you of complete powerfulness, complete stability and chastity. Chastity means being chaste to the decisions that you take. Every decision being chaste and stable. That is the power of a woman. The moment we start becoming chaste and stable, we can cause a change around us. Oh, you can always say, why can't a man do it? I mean, for me, I really don't care for a man to do it. I would rather do it. Being a woman in today's world, if I'm able to influence change for the better, that is the biggest victory we have. And it's possible. If each of us start thinking like this and start becoming stable, centered, neutral, and anchored, and chaste, you will see the seamless transformation from a violent world to a violent free world. Especially for us Hindu women, because our very sacred texts support us, teach us the technique to become a powerful woman. Yes, this is in contrast to what we've been hearing. Our sacred texts do not propagate, do not propagandize that women are second-class citizens. In fact, the sacred texts, whether the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Agamas, all of them authoritatively state, authoritatively teach women as equal to man. In fact, the Vaidika Dharma does not have any gender parity. You'll be surprised to know. Unlike today's world, the Vedic civilization, the Vedic times, we did not have any gender parity. One important aspect of that, all wealthy, one of the most influential countries, one of the most influential civilizations the Vedic civilization had, was that women were respected, venerated, and treated as equal. And even beyond equal, I would say, because she was considered to be the most auspicious Lakshmi. Lakshmi being the divine goddess who showers people with wealth. In fact, there was a very popular saying in Andhra Pradesh, a state in India, where people rejoice the birth of a girl child, saying, "Oh, my house is blessed by the birth of Lakshmi. Goddess Lakshmi has been born in my house." We just need to bring that back. We just need to revive that by going back into the sacred texts. My Guru, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, very strongly advocates and believes that the revival of the strong, powerful Hindu women is the only way for the society to become stable, secure, and transform and provide a better quality of life.